prioritize houses for the low income and medium income parents.
Unlike the two gentlemen before me, I'm not selling 3D technology. I think I'm more coming from the user's perspective. And the first thing I just want to observe is this: construction technology is of critical importance. We are all avoiding the big question of what is our actual demand gap. But I don't care whether you call it 17 million, or as the Honorable Minister from Ghana said, where they have 2 million, or you call it 2 million, it doesn't matter what you call it. The fact is we have a crisis. In Nigeria today, and my Oga, Babajide is here, I doubt there's anybody who's been up to 100,000 houses a year, government included. The maximum production per year in Nigeria is not up to 100,000 homes. And whether you believe it or not, the real demand will keep growing, because 50% of our population is under 21. They're going to grow up, they're going to have kids. They're going to want homes. So it doesn't matter what you think the actual number is, it is a crisis. Now, the only way you can fix a crisis is a quantum leap. You've got to find solutions that make it possible for you to transcend the gaps that you have. And in order to do that, one of the things I always attach my mind to is to dimension the actual real demand. Now, what is a real demand in Nigeria for homes? Every research that we've gone through right now points to the fact that 45% of the home demands in Nigeria are for mass affordable homes. And these are homes priced not higher than $10,000. Put it to each understand what I'm using for my dollar rate, I'm using 500 to 1. So the maximum price point for 50%, roughly 50% of the homes that we need in this country is 5 million naira. Okay, that's $10,000. The next large gap is the middle market, where the vast majority of the working professionals in Nigeria, and if you discount for underemployment, discount for unemployment, we're talking of roughly about 30 million Nigerians who are in paid employment or working for themselves. The average, the 40% of the demand for homes is for that class of people. Now, these people would buy homes priced between $12,000 to $50,000. You're talking 6 to 25 million naira. I'm talking affordable homes. Now, when I say affordable, I'm not talking social housing. I'm talking homes that they can afford to buy conveniently. And we're all practitioners here, and I'm glad to have my Oga, the MD of FMBN here also. They've got money. My other Oga, Femi Adewale, is also in the room. I call them my Ogas because they're the ones that dictate the tune. You know, you basic pipers. You know, so they pay, and these are the prices, these are the houses that they want people to buy. Then the last category is where you have 15% of the demand, which are premium homes. These people don't care about the price, really. They just care about the quality. We're not talking about them here. So if I'm looking for solutions that will make it possible for me to take care of 85% of a market demand, then I've got to ask myself, what do I need to do? Now, incidentally, factor into that urbanization rate in Nigeria is 55%. It means everywhere is getting urbanized. And then with the increasing security also, the urban centers are becoming more and more populated. So everywhere is getting choked up, and it is going to get more choked up. It is a fact of life. So it means that when you're building in the urban centers, you're not going to be doing sprawls. You're not doing bungalows, I'm sorry. You're going to have to scale up, you're going to have to go vertical. So it means any solution that you're putting in place has to be something that creates efficient, quality, vertical homes that are affordable. So you go to market with that kind of shopping list, and you then ask yourself, okay, what are the constraints that the market then gives you that makes it difficult to apply? Now, this is not a plug, but I commend Lafarge a whole lot, because they've been very bullish on coming up with solutions in the industry. I've worked with them on the past, and I was really impressed with what they come here with 3D technology, because the last project I did with them, we used formwork to do homes, because we're trying to do 4-story homes. I wanted to do it so fast, and we're using formwork to do the homes. And that's when I realized that in the whole of the Southwest, there were only, this is crazy, there were only 4 concrete pumps. So if you're doing a 5-story building, you actually wait on a waiting list, because they can supply you concrete, but you can't pump the concrete because the pumps are not there. So that's when I realized that the problems we have, the peculiar problems that are in our society, in our environment, that we've got to fix before you can begin to come up with this great concept that we're talking about. And whatever you're coming up with has to be solutions that are also sustainable in the reality of the environment. Now, I'm going to have a lot of questions for the 2 gentlemen, Brando, right? And my brother here that spoke about 3D printing. The thing that kept on going in my head is power. If I'm going to deploy, Reverend Jimmy, you can agree with me. If I'm going to deploy this machine in Mamusa, or in Kuje, or on the outskirts of Lagos by the expressway, how much power do I need? How am I going to truck them there? How am I going to make sure that by the time they get there, the actual print heads are not broken? Then I've got to go back to Sweden and wait for customs to clear them, to bring it. Yeah, peculiar issues that we're going to have to fix here to make sure that the solutions we will put in place are actually adaptable and scalable. Hydrofoam has been working in Nigeria for well over 15 years. They've not been able to scale. And the reason they've not been able to scale, one of these I always stop people. People ask me, why don't you use hydrofoam? I say, because to use hydrofoam, I've got to have earth. I've got to have massive earth. And it's just not scalable. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to demarket any solution. It's just not scalable. I'm going to start to do concrete. And if I'm going to do concrete, I've got to come up with concrete that is cheap. So the solutions must be designed to reflect the realities of the local environment. Then, I then ask myself, and I'm going to round up here. So what are the key trigger points I think we need to factor in as we begin to talk about skill? Reverend Chima is going to take in the next panel, and he's going to talk about collaboration. The fact of the matter is that we're all small players. I said this to my brother, the MD of UPDC, before this meeting. I said, all of us, when you take your entire balance sheet and dollarize it, you realize you're a small player. All of us. Yet, we're sitting on a massive market. The Nigerian home market is probably the largest untapped frontier anywhere in the world. It is. It is easily a $20 billion market opportunity. Real market opportunity. But then, how do we unlock it? The first thing we've got to do is we've got to find ways to increase collaboration. I can do it. None of you can do it alone. Lafarge certainly can't do it alone. We've got to come up with increased collaboration. We've got to put aside our limited focus on our small balance sheets and begin to understand that the only way we can build a real industry is we've got to come together, deploy our collective strengths and capacities, and make it happen. That's the first thing. The second thing is we've got to, once we have that collaboration, we've got to get fiscal concessions. There is no way you can invest in technology without some form of concession. And when we're going to revolutionize the telecom sector, government did that. They gave huge concessions to them. There's no reason why we're not getting concessions. We don't need government money. What we need are fiscal concessions that make it possible for us to invest for the long term. I find it ridiculous that EchoStone applied for pioneering status and were denied. It is ridiculous because they're coming into Nigeria to come and resolve a problem, and they're putting in technology, and there's no reason why they cannot get pioneering status and concessions, and those are the kind of things we need to get to push with government. Then the third thing is we've got to find ways of unlocking long-term capital. Once we do collaboration and we work across the various sectors and everybody brings in their core strengths, we're able to unlock long-term capital because to unlock this opportunity will require a whole lot more resources than any of us can individually mobilize. Of course, the next thing then is market segmentation. I'm going to round up where I started from. There's no use me printing nice bungalows that are 20 square foot if the people that are going to buy them do not want them. And there's no need me building one-bed apartments, no matter how nice they are, if the people that I'm trying to sell do not want them. We've got to do a proper market segmentation and devise solutions that ensure that whatever technology we're deploying is acceptable to the market. Thank you very much.